My name is Nathan. I just want to thank everyone for showing up and your patience today when we got this awesome little event going today. It is my pleasure and honor to introduce Jessica Lea Mayfield. She had time on her tour to come stop by and talk with us for a little bit so we can learn about her past and what kind of brought her here today. And we'll end up with like a little set, hopefully, with some beautiful songs and maybe some Q&A, but as we go. But yeah, hello, how are you doing today?
Good. Hi, Nathan. So yeah, I'm doing well. Thanks for having me here. Are we under like a giant guitar?
I think so. Yeah. We're hoping that the finale will be somehow incorporated into that guitar, but we'll get there. We'll get there. Yeah. Excellent. Well, you have such a long kind of career, even though you're kind of like it's a short career. Like you started in a family band and like as like a child, like it seems kind of like a very interesting opportunity and kind of a way to kind of adapt and kind of guide your musical career. Would you mind telling us a little bit about that?
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, I've been doing this for a really long time. So I started doing music with my parents when I was 8 years old, and we lived on a old tour bus that was owned by a bunch of popular bluegrass and country musicians at one point, and basically just traveled around like hippies. And so I've been touring since I can, remember, basically.
That's amazing. Like, I can only imagine just kind of being on the road, one, but just with the family, too, dynamic. Like, that could be a very interesting kind of relationship to kind of roll with, bond with, and then also just kind of take that musical experience as a positive and keep moving with it.
I think it definitely made, it just kind of made everyone feel like there weren't really family roles. It was just like, okay, we're all on the same level here doing the same thing, sort of, we're all just traveling around trying to make money and, so it's just really interesting to feel like you were on a team with your relatives. Right?
Awesome.
It's like, okay, you and your brother take that street corner, and your mom and I'll go over here, and let's all play for tips and come back and see what we got. And it's interesting. So definitely an interesting
awesome.
way.
Was there like a favorite song or like kind of like a go-to track that you guys had together, or maybe it was like the one you guys enjoyed doing the most?
Usually, we'd pick kind of one song that whatever song seemed to be. I'm trying to remember right now. It was a lot of times it would be requests, so people would want to hear stuff like "Amazing Grace." And it'd be like, okay, I was just like a little girl. I'm like, whatever.
Awesome. Well, obviously your musical career did not end there. It kept moving, and then 2006, about, if my memory serves, that's when White Lies came out. Mm-hmm. That is kind of when I was first introduced to you and your music while you were touring with the Ava Brothers. And
yes.
That was a beautiful summer of 2007. I was very happy to meet you there. But as kind of the legend goes, that was the album that kind of got a particular artist's attention, and if I have it right, the gentleman from Black Keys, Dan Auerbach. And then what happened? What snowballed from there?
Well, he's from Akron, Ohio, and I'm from Kent, Ohio. When I had recorded that album at home in a bedroom, it ended up getting over to him somehow, and then from there we started just meeting up a couple times a week and recording, not really knowing what it was going to be. Mm-hmm. And then ended up making my first record with him, and then I made my second record with him as well.
Like, how was that? Because at that time you could have been, a teenager, one would guess, and like that could be a very kind of unique kind of guiding experience for like a young artist to meet someone kind of with, that's a big name, with like an adult coming to you and wanting to produce and push your music. That seems like pretty magical.
Oh yeah, no, it was definitely interesting to kind of. I had a lot of friends at the time who knew who they were, who the Black Keys were, and I was just kind of. I got hip to it around the time that I met him, and that was around the time that they were really starting to get more popular. So I thought, okay, I'll go hang out with this guy, I guess, and work in his studio, and it'll be whatever, but it definitely ended up, you know, I still to this day, I meet a lot of people who the first album they heard is the first one that I did with Dan. So I think that there's still people are going back and finding out about me now through an album that came out over 10 years ago, almost. So.
That's crazy. I kind of did the reverse. Like, I heard that you were doing backup vocals on like some kind of like sloppy, jammy, like blues band. I was like, oh, I should check it out. And then that's when I find that you did the backup vocals for Things Ain't Like They Used to Be, right?
Yeah.
And that was kind of, I had the reverse kind of interaction with the black. He's like, oh, like, who's she playing with? Oh, okay, right on. This is sweet. These guys are good.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, then from there, so the next album you came out with Blasphemy, so Heartfelt, that was kind of like your first kind of major produced album, not you and your brother kind of self-release produced. Like, how was that kind of new experience from like family jam band, putting out stuff, you know, like on your own to kind of like this more kind of potentially like dynamic or specific process, you know?
It's funny. I definitely, with Blasphemy, it was kind of pieced together over a period of time where Dan had this rental space and he would get in different gear and kind of call me over to guinea pig and try stuff out. And then stuff from that became that album, which is it's funny because then by the time I did my next album with him, it was, you know, real studio vibes. But that first thing was just kind of like, all right, one of us has to like reach over and turn this machine on and then get back whoever's closer to it and who isn't starting the song first. So it was very still kind of I feel like with Blasphemy still has those bedroomy vibes of just like, hey, we're using nicer stuff, but it's just like very small group of people. I can't even really say group.
Was there like any kind of like intimidation level with it? Like obviously you've been around music and performers as like a young kid, so like was it just like another day at the office, or was there kind of like an awe moment involved in it at all?
I mean, not really. I don't get it's interesting though. I don't really get too nervous around people.
Good for you. It's great power.
More like single people. No, like a large group of people, maybe. I don't know. That sounds bad.
Awesome. Well, kind of brought up the Averitt Brothers earlier, and like definitely seen you guys tour. Like anytime you guys do a harmony, it's the most beautiful thing ever.
Thank you.
Love Scotty so much. And so you guys have this awesome Elliott Smith tribute album that's just beautiful and gorgeous. And it's obvious that Elliott Smith was a potential influencer on you, but kind of curious what led you to this specific project, and also with Scott Avett.
That was with Seth.
Oh,
actually.
Seth. Sorry.
No worries.
Pardon me.
That's okay. There were actually people that would come to the show and still think that it was Scott, which I don't get, but I think people confuse them just a little bit.
Pardon my nerves.
No, it's okay. Whatever. Just kidding. But we, Seth and I realized that we were both big Elliott Smith fans, and that was just something we would end up talking about almost every time we saw each other, until one point we were on tour together and we both walk into this green room and it had a piano and he started playing an Elliott Smith song and I started singing it, and from there we were like, okay, we should do something like this, and we just kept sending each other voice memos of Elliott Smith songs until we had more than enough ideas.
That's very cool, and it's a lovely album, and I was always trying to put my finger on like a way to kind of describe it, and then I kind of stumbled upon a review that kind of just said it so well, to where like it wasn't like you guys trying to reinvent or like change the songs and make it your own. It was more just kind of like an honest homage to Elliott Smith. And that just kind of like put it all into like a wonderful nutshell for me when I was like thinking of that album, like how you guys put it together.
Oh, well, thank you. It was kind of stressful because, especially as huge Elliott Smith fans, I think we understood that, you know, you're attempting to mess with something that's pretty delicate, and I had to put myself in the shoes of if someone else did that, would I be like, what are you doing? Like, you know, you can't sing Elliott Smith songs. Like, no, only he can do that. You know, he's the best at that. So,
right.
there's definitely that line to draw of wanting to do a good enough job to do it justice without making it too different or, ruining it somehow. I think we just didn't want to ruin it.
Well, whatever level you found, it was wonderful, and thank you for it. The version of Fun for Well for a Friend is just, it gets me. It's very beautiful.
Thank you.
Yeah. All right, what else do I have to harass you with?
Any more compliments? I'm just kidding.
Oh, that's what the last page is. I just have a
this.
list of things I like about you, so we'll get there. Don't worry. Yeah. Well, we have your newest album, Sorry Is Gone.
Yes.
It's a very interesting album for me. I feel like there's a lot more, it just seems like there's so much happening, though, but it flows together really well.
Did you not like it?
No, I do like it, but this is why I'm bringing it up. But, just this kind of rawness to it within it. It's not like it's scattered, it flows for me, but it just had a different depth for me. And then when I saw the title of Sorry Is Gone, I was wondering if that was kind of a reflection of this depth that you were trying to kind of create or maybe project with it. Because it's such a kind of simple, saying so little with just Sorry Is Gone, but it seems like there's kind of a lot behind it, potentially.
Well, I think this album, it came together without me really realizing what, if any, theme there was going to be. And I realized that a lot of the songs were all working together for the theme of being not afraid to be yourself, I guess, which is, all these things sound cheesy and funny, but it's, I don't know, you shouldn't be embarrassed to talk about them.
Yeah, that's beautiful, and I think that's kind of this variation of sound that kind of comes and is produced in this album and kind of reflects what you're just saying of just that genuine self, which I found was really awesome. I was just curious about the title and maybe how it played with it.
Well,
sweet.
Yeah.
Alrighty, well, I have some more kind of just silly questions for you, if we may, and we can lighten the mood a little bit before we hear some of your music.
Ask away.
So I feel like there's always someone at shows who just kind of want to scream some song or request at you.
Okay.
So is there any in particular that have stood out over the years that kind of maybe cracked a smile or maybe or even indulged?
See, I don't think I've ever had anyone request unless it's my song and they request it, then I might play it. But it's one thing, people will go back with my songs and they'll go really, really far to the very, very first album. And
White Lies?
Yeah, they'll want to hear something that's more than 10 years old that I wrote when I was 15. And I'm thinking, I don't remember that. And this is there was this one show where I had played and then came back up for the encore, and we were all getting ready to play Our Hearts Are Wrong. This drunk woman comes up and she goes, "No, stop." And she's like, "You're going to play this song." And it was some really slow, weird, sad song off of White Lies. And I'm like, "No, this is the last song of the night. It has to be something fun." And
Right.
She got really mad and stormed out. And so that's probably a more interesting thing. I think people get really emotional if I don't do what they ask me to.
Well, you're there for them, right?
Yeah. I'm I'm sorry, I have a plan, a list of songs to do. The band learned.
And I promise this one wasn't a temperamental question. I didn't bring it up on the spot, but I was wondering if over the years of touring, I'm sure you kind of come across a lot of interesting to silly to comical interactions or obstacles, and I'm wondering if you have maybe one that comes to mind that brings the biggest smiles or laughs as you look back.
Obstacles that
Just silly things, traveling every day on the road, cars, there could be always trouble out there,
Oh, there's always trouble out there. I don't know, booking a hotel in the wrong city and then driving to the right city and realizing it later. I'm trying to think of what kind of goofy snafus happen. I don't know. It's actually kind of boring, honestly. I mean, it's just kind of hotel, sitting in a hotel, eating.
That sounds nice.
Yeah. It's eating in bed, playing a rock show, eating in bed. Maybe if I'm lucky, I can lay in bed before the show, too, if I have time. This is where it gets really exciting. Basically just eating and sleeping and
the
music,
normal things, people things, yeah.
driving.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, kind of like on the same level, like, is there like a group or an artist that you've enjoyed most kind of touring, or it's been kind of like a special or fun experience?
Well, it's funny you mentioned it's the Avett Brothers. I kind of look back on that as that was some of the first touring that I did. It was with them and with the Black Keys, and I was really young, and that was the first time I ever did any West Coast touring was with the Avett Brothers. So there's definitely a lot of first time tour things with them that I always think about. So that's fun because I'll go somewhere and I'll be like, oh yeah, I've been here a million times now, but I remember the first time I came here, you know.
Sweet, very cool.
Yeah.
And then how about like, what do you listen to these days? And if there was like, if you're, you know, trying to like sit in a bed and eat some food in a hotel room, like what do you put on?
Okay, well, let's see. What do I put on? I don't really watch much TV.
Or music-wise, who do you listen to? Yeah, yeah.
And music-wise, it's funny, I don't really branch out very much. I keep it to like the same group of artists, so it's always like Elliott Smith and Metallica, Soundgarden, just like all 90s
classics.
A lot of heavy music.
Awesome.
I've been trying to listen to some books on tape, but it's hard to stay awake, so it's not a good thing to do while driving. But I still try to do it anyways. And then if you fall asleep while you're listening to it in bed, then you don't retain any of it. So still trying to figure out books on tape.
It'll be there for you. They'll be waiting for you, I promise.
How that works.
Awesome. Well, you know, I just wanted to kind of spend some time to kind of like share your past and hear where you're coming from and like why you're here today. Like maybe now would be a good time to treat everyone with their patience with a few tracks and then maybe a little Q&A at the end, if that's all right by you.
Sure. Yeah.
Beautiful. Well, I'm gonna recede from the stage. Oh yes.
You're gonna
please.
leave me?
I'll sit here if you like. Yeah, I can be the water. Yeah. Well, I'm gonna sit here and be the water boy.
You're welcome to sing along.
Oh God, I might on accident.
There's a show tonight.
Oh, of course. Pardon. I should know about that because.
Will you be singing at the show tonight?
I will be singing at the show tonight. Tonight at the Independent, we'll get to see a full set from the lovely Jessica Lea Mayfield. Tickets are still probably available, and if you have nothing to do, you should come and join us.
Yeah.
Yes.
Here's your practice for later. The sorry is gone. I'm sorry, the sorry is gone. I'm sorry, the sorry is gone. I'm sorry, the sorry is gone. Can't understand the way you feel. It's safe to say I've never tried. Help me forget what I've done wrong, so I can do whatever I want. Leave me alone, but I want you with me every minute. Leave me alone, I'm safe at home. But I deserve to occupy this space without feeling like I don't belong. I'm done excusing myself. I'm sorry, the sorry is gone. I'm sorry, the sorry is gone. I'm sorry, the sorry is gone. It's nice to have a guy around for lifting heavy things dreams in opening jars. Should we really let them in our beds? Chain them to a little house outside. Get rid of you, but I don't want to. Get rid of you, but I don't want to. Get rid of you, but I don't want to. I'm alright with being lonely. I'm okay with being alone. So over feeling sorry for myself. I'm sorry, the sorry is gone. 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 So go ahead and play another one. I'm afraid of the party. Please leave me alone. Don't fucking invite me. I probably won't go. When we were in the meadow, I believed you. Can I trust you now for sure? The devil's in the details. Should've left them all out. The devil's in my head now. It feels full of doubt. When we were in the meadow, I believed you. Can I trust you now for sure? Can I trust you now for sure? The cold hard truth is you love me too much. The cold hard truth is you couldn't love me enough. When we were in the meadow, I believed you. Can I trust you now for sure? Can I trust you now for sure? Can I trust you now for sure? Have any requests, Nathan?
Oh my goodness.
Oh gosh.
Well, if I go, I would hate to say something too old, but I would hate to, I've had For Today stuck in my head for a minute. But
Do you want to hear that?
if you would, I would not. Yeah?
I would do that for you.
Goodness.
All right.
Yes, please.
That is, it's going back pretty far.
That's
But for Nathan,
to the beginning. Goodness.
thank you guys. I was walking with your left hand in my back pocket, and I stared at the sky while you kissed me. And you were running away, away from everything, and I stayed behind so you'd miss me. And all these words may sound so sweet, I could care less about you, care less about you. And I love the sound of you walking away, and I can see clearer, and I'm getting closer to finding out just who I am without you in the way. So hold me, but only for today. Despite my best ambitions, I get into the worst situations, but here I am, crystal clean. And on the night so lonely, the words I say to you are phony, because there's nothing left to say. And though you say you can't live without me, and every single night you think about me, I could care less about you, care less about you. And I love the sound of you walking away, and I can see clearer, and I'm getting closer to finding out just who I am without you in the way. So hold me, but only for today. Thank you.
Thank you for keeping that in my head for the next week or two. So what do you think? You want a little break for some Q&A?
Yeah,
Wanna
you
keep...
want me to play more? Do you have more questions?
I kind of ran through my questions.
Okay.
Maybe we can do a little Q&A, then if some more songs kind of pick
totally.
up. Beautiful.
Yeah, or I could play a song while you ask me a question.
Yeah, let's do
Right
that.
here, just start asking, I'll come up with something.
There is a microphone in the back of the room for those of us who would like to ask Jessica some questions.
Oh, okay.
And watch me awkwardly dance around the stage.
Hi.
Hello, Jessica. Thank you for coming.
Wow, you sound great. Thank you.
I wanted to ask what you find most gratifying about your career. Is it making music and touring, or is it putting an album out, or meeting super fans like Nathan?
Those are all great points. I think there's something too about it can be, it's interesting to, I really like the personal process of writing songs. And then I feel like the process of sharing them almost goes against what it is, because it's definitely a really private collection of feelings, and then I go out and share them with everyone. So there's kind of those two different aspects, which I like getting, to have the contrast.
Wow, thank you.
Yeah.
Who do you share them with first?
I'm kind of weird like that. So if I'm going to work on it with someone, then I would play it for them. Otherwise, if I'm just working on something, I might just play it at a show and see what happens. And I try it once, and if I don't like it, then I'm just never play it again. Otherwise, if I like something about it, then it might make its way into something eventually.
Cool. Thank you.
Yeah, rad. Thank you.
Hi.
Next. No, I'm just kidding.
On a related subject, we have a few groups here for songwriters, producers, and musicians, and a topic that frequently comes up is the difficulties of the songwriting process and finishing what you start. I'm wondering what you can share with us about your own process and, difficulties you might even still have.
I think that it's easier. I mean, it's easy to realize that something might not be that great of an idea if you're having a really hard time finishing it. So I think the thing about that is to make sure you're excited enough by the idea to follow through. And that's something I've learned is, if that's not how you feel, then make yourself feel that way. Because if I'm not wanting to follow through on an idea, I have to ask myself, why am I procrastinating on it? And it's just like, oh, because I'm not that passionate about it. So I think for me, that's just the main thing, is to just keep finding ways to stay excited about what you're working on.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you. Sounds like a weird city hall.
It's just begun, actually.
No, we're building the road. I am building the shooting range next to the playground. I'm just kidding. All right.
Hey.
Hi.
So on that same topic, I'm wondering, do you write your lyrics first, then the music, or vice versa?
That changes. Sometimes I go through phases. It's usually lyrics first, and sometimes I'll come up with a melody that I really like, and I'll hate the lyrics, and then I'll put lyrics that I wrote previously to that. But it's definitely two different things. I'll write something, and either I'll really like the lyrics or the melody, and then work from there. Decide, what is it about that I liked? Was it the way was it the words, or was it the way that I was saying the words?
Do you have someone that you collaborate with, kind of what you wrote with?
No, I mean, I don't collaborate that often. I'm kind of bad about that with songwriting, and if I do, I just have to a lot of times just give a song to someone else and leave them alone with it. I definitely can't watch while someone else tears it apart. It's hard to be open-minded. You have to, once you hear someone else's idea, it's hard to immediately not just be like, I hate it. That's not my idea. You have to actually try to see what could be good about it, just because it's someone else's idea.
Thanks.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Hi, thanks again for performing this afternoon.
Thank you.
You mentioned you've had like a whole life and career in the music industry, and you started out playing on corners at shows and meeting back with the family. You've seen a lot of the music industry change over the years as well, and I'm wondering if you could share if you have any kind of sort of like gripes with where the music industry is today, where you might see improvements in the future, or kind of what you'd like to see in the future for the music industry.
Interesting. Yeah, it's weird. It's kind of like I don't really have like an idea to fix it, but you can see what's happening, and it's been happening for most of my life. I mean, I can look back to music being free when I was 10, 11, 12, and remembering like Napster and all this stuff, and seeing that, even as kind of watching that happen, and watching people that used to make money doing something have people not really want to invest in it anymore. And I guess that's something that I've kind of seen the way things have changed, and it's just not, I don't know, but I didn't really see the way things were at the same time too. So it's an interesting, I'm really curious to see where it goes, but I have no idea how I could even imagine that, because who knows what's going to keep changing. Yeah, no, you're welcome. Thank you.
Hey, I'm looking for advice on how not to lose songs. So specifically, imagine you're in love,
Okay.
and you write a love song, and it's a great song, and then you break up. What do you do with that love song that reminds you of that person? Do you lose it? Or do you have a way of owning it and taking it back and making it yours again?
Oh yeah, you keep singing it, and you definitely apply it to something else. I don't know. Give it some time if you have to. But I mean, especially if you really like the song, then just be like, hey, you know what? The one cool thing I got out of this was this rad song. You know, look at it that way. Like, just kind of, instead of thinking about her or whatever, whoever it is.
Do you have any songs like that?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I'm kind of a relationship writer too, so I definitely write about every relationship that I've been in, and then eventually it goes back to when I was a teenager, so there's a lot of teenage breakups that I still end up singing about, and I think that's ridiculous that this is part of my life and career, but it's, it's like, hey, at least I got a part of my life and career out of this relationship, so cool.
Awesome.
Thank you, guys.
How do you feel?
Do you want more music? I could do more music.
If you have some time for some
Okay.
music, that would be lovely.
All right.
Thank you.
Oh yeah, thank you. Awesome. Any tips on how to feel more human, or how to undehumanize someone? I'm only asking for a friend. Is there no one it's safe to connect to anymore? Is there no one it's safe to connect to anymore? Been through hell, there's no telling what might happen in my future. All I can do is be thankful for each moment that's my own. Is there no one it's safe to connect to anymore? Is there no one it's safe to connect to anymore? No, 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 no.
Yeah, whatever's good about you.
Yeah. Cool, I'll do like one more, then you guys can get back to your life. Unless you would just normally be sitting here like this. Would you all be facing this direction usually? Or?
We're here all day.
Okay, cool. Well, thanks for letting me sit in front of you. I appreciate it. If everyone would talk about it, no one would be ashamed. Got a purse full of pills, but they're all in my name. I'm a good girl now, won't hand them out. I'm a good girl now, won't hand them out. Wish you could see me now, but no one can see me now. I wish you could see me now, but no one can see me now. It's me on the other side of everything. I'm a good girl now, I can hardly stand it. I'm a good girl now, won't do it again, man. Wish you could see me now, but no one can see me now. I wish you could see me now, but no one can see me now. Wish you could see me now, but no one can see me now. I wish you could see me now, but no one can see me now. Thank you.
Thanks to you. Thank you so much to everyone for being here and supporting this wonderful day, and hopefully this is first to many. And of course, many thanks to Jessica for finding time in between tours and shows and driving in life to come stop by with us. So another round of applause for Jessica
Thanks for
and all the
having me.
loveliness.
Aw.